Welcome to the Goodnight, Sweet Child podcast, where we share stories to whisk our youngest listeners away to dreamland. I'm your host, Juliette McGuire, and tonight we'll be reading a delightful story titled The Little House in the Woods. So snuggle up, close your eyes, and let's dive into the enchanting world of our story. Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest filled with tall, whispering trees and gentle woodland creatures, there stood a little house. The little house was painted a lovely shade of blue, with white shutters and a red door. It was the coziest little house you could ever imagine. Inside the little house, there lived a kind old bear named Grampa Bear, who loved to tell stories to all the animals that lived in the woods. Every night, just as the sun began to set, the animals would gather around the little house to listen to Grampa Bear's tales. As the sky turned a soft shade of pink and the stars began to twinkle, Grampa Bear opened the red door of the little house and sat down in his big, comfy rocking chair on the porch. The animals gathered around, excited to hear tonight's bedtime story. With a warm smile, Grampa Bear began to tell a story about a wise old owl who could see the future. As the animals listened, their eyes grew heavy, and they began to feel sleepy. The raccoons curled up in the soft grass, their tails wrapped around them like cozy blankets. The rabbits nestled close to their families, their long ears twitching as they listened. The squirrels snuggled up in the crook of a tree, their bushy tails keeping them warm. One by one, the animals of the forest closed their eyes, lulled to sleep by Grampa Bear's soothing voice. Even the trees seemed to lean in closer as if they, too, wanted to hear the story. When Grampa Bear finished his tale, he looked around at the sleeping animals and smiled. He whispered softly, "Good night, little ones. Sleep well." And with that, Grampa Bear closed the red door of the little house, and the night settled in around the forest. The moon cast a gentle glow on the sleeping animals, and the stars twinkled brightly above the little house in the woods. And that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of tonight's bedtime story, The Little House in the Woods. We hope our youngest friends enjoyed this gentle tale inspired by the styles of Margaret Wise Brown and Virginia Lee Burton. Tomorrow we'll be back with another story to help you drift off to dreamland. Until then, sweet dreams and good night.